Live from downtown Macon, this is WGXA News live on YouTube.
Good evening, Middle Georgia. I'm Amanda Peralta.
I'm Greg Lloyd. Thanks for watching WGXA News at 5:30. Continuing coverage on a story we first brought you Monday, we're talking about the viral video of a Macon mother assaulting her child.
Tonight, the woman who called 911 is speaking out, concerned about how long it took deputies to respond.
Our Brianna Cook has that part of the story today. Good evening, Brianna.
Greg and Amanda, it took Macon-Bibb Sheriff's Office 1 hour and 18 minutes to respond. Now, we want to warn you, this video you will see may be disturbing.
Get out! Get out! Get out!
This viral video shows the moments a Macon mom dragged her daughter by the hair after she was outside playing with her friends. The mom, Samira White, was eventually arrested and faces child cruelty charges. The video was recorded by another child in the neighborhood. Gwen McKenzie is the aunt of the child behind the camera, and she called 911 the minute she saw the video. Today, she is concerned it took over an hour for deputies to respond to her multiple calls to 911. As time went by, McKenzie says she drove to the sheriff's office herself to get help.
As soon as I turn in, there's an officer sitting there in his car. And I pulled alongside of him and I was telling him the situation. I've been waiting for almost over an hour and a half at this point for someone to be dispatched. No one is coming, no one is there. And he called dispatch. They said no one had been dispatched to their address yet. So he said, I'm finna send 2 of my deputies.
I emailed her concerns to the Bibb County Sheriff's Office on Monday before our original story aired. They claim McKenzie's time allegations are false, and all deputies available were obligated to other calls. They say the call for assistance came in at 4:28 p.m. The call was dispatched at 5:32 p.m. and that deputies arrived at 5:46 p.m. McKenzie says regardless of how accurate the time is, they took too long to respond.
Well, the timestamp that I first called the non-emergency number, that was 4:27. It was 5:45 before they arrived. That is, in my point, a little closer to 2 hours. But it should not even taken 45 minutes, yet alone an hour.
I requested an interview with BSO, and they not only were unhappy with the statements made in the story, but also refused to be interviewed. McKenzie says there needs to be a reform when it comes to their response times.
The overall picture is to serve justice and to help people. That's the bottom line for all of the departments. So it should be all of the departments, whoever is available, let's dispatch it out. And I think dispatch needs to be trained on that, and they need to come as a collective and force that initiative.
She emphasized how civil matters can turn deadly in a matter of minutes and that the sheriff's office needs to do better.
Being someone that was in a domestic violence situation, sometimes that first hour counts. That first hour could save a person's life. I know they get calls that don't seem like much, but then there's some that are could be life or death situation. We have to treat them all the same until you get there and evaluate the situation.
The children are now with their father, and White was arrested after deputies saw the video. Jail records show that White is no longer in jail. Reporting live in Macon, Brianna Cook, WGXA News.
Thank you so much, Brianna. And another mom is calling out the Bibb County Sheriff's Office after she says it took too long for them to respond to the scene of her 16-year-old son's death and violated her privacy.
Takesha Mallory says it took deputies 53 minutes to respond after 20 shot spotter pings were recorded over 2 months ago. Now, once deputies identified the victim as her son, Derek Poopman, she says she was asked them to keep his name private. She says her rights as a parent were violated when her request for privacy was ignored by Bibb County Coroner Leon Jones.
Now she's calling out slow response times and what she says is a disregard to respect her wishes as a parent.
I just kept praying, this is not my son, this is not my son, this is not my son, this is not my son. But it turns out it was my son. Honestly, they could have did better. They could have did better. Because now maybe I would have had my son. He just would have been hurt, but he would have been at home. But 53 minutes is unacceptable. I just can't get over that. I can't. It's just certain things when you lose a child, you cannot get over. You cannot get over.
According to the sheriff's office incident report, 10 ShotSpotter calls went off in the area, but deputies didn't get to the scene until 56 minutes after the first shot was fired. When they arrived, they found the teen face down on the sidewalk, unresponsive. Our Raina Plunkett is meeting with the coroner this week to bring you his side of the story. Look for that part of the story in the coming days.
Tonight, Bibb deputies are searching for those responsible after 3 people are left recovering after 2 separate shootings that happened in Macon. Now, Bibb deputies say they found a man yesterday evening suffering from a gunshot wound on Park Street. Lieutenant Linda Howard tells WGXA the victim was shot at the Jumbo Express gas station nearby and made his way to Park Street. Now, neighbors tell us it's usually a low crime area. Deputies say the victim was shot in the leg and is in stable condition. 2 others were injured hours before in a double shooting at the Baymont Inn on Riverside Drive. Deputies say when they arrived on scene, they learned both a 62-year-old woman and a 33-year-old man had been shot. Both of them are in stable condition. If you have information in either case, please call Bibb County deputies or Macon Regional Crime Stoppers.
A mother is searching for closure, and the GBI is seeking information in a 2-year-old Trutland County homicide investigation. The GBI hopes to ignite new interest in this cold case. Someone killed Harvey Harris Jr. at a party in Soperton back on June 19, 2021. While unsolved, his mom says she's certain someone knows who murdered her son.
That night I have been lost because I don't know nothing. From that night to this day, I don't know what happened. And I know somebody know what happened to my child. Somebody know. And it's more than just somebody, because they told me it was over 200 people out there.
If you know anything about the shooting, the night of the party, or who killed Harvey Harris Jr., you can make an anonymous tip through the GBI tip line. Find that link by viewing this story on our website at WGXA.tv. While some local business owners are left with a financial debt tonight after someone burglarized their business.
And according to those owners, they've only been in business for a few months, and everything they've worked so hard for is now gone.
Carlos Stevens spoke to the business owner today, and Carlos, this business owner was very emotional in his Facebook post this morning. How's he doing now?
Well, guys, I can tell you after talking to him this morning, I seen tears in his eyes, and that's because he's wondering where him and his wife will go after this situation. This morning, Jonathan King walked into his business looking to see what was left after receiving a phone call around 4 a.m. this morning telling him his business was burglarized. He says thieves took some very valuable items.
I had a money box that had my deposits in it, my savings in it, just different things, valuable items.
He says to add insult to injury, the thieves took all of his food out of the freezer, leaving it to spoil. He says he quit his job to start the business nearly 5 months ago.
And so I didn't have the savings or the capital or whatever to endure, so to speak, the first couple years of business.
The thieves entered by cutting through a wall. He says while he doesn't think he was the target, thieves definitely had a plan that could likely keep them from being caught.
They took the DVRs that had the video recordings on them when they robbed the place.
King says they weren't notified until thieves left, causing the alarm to go off. He says he suspects thieves got away with around $10,000, including damages, which King says was everything he and his wife worked hard for. However, he says he's more concerned for the thieves.
You know, I really feel sorry for the people that did it. If I'm being 100% honest, man, easy money goes just as fast as it goes when you get it.
Now, he says him and his wife plan to resume business tomorrow, but he's still asking for the community support. And if you would like to support, you can look on our website at WGXA.tv and find this story. For now, we're live in Macon. I'm Carlos Stevens, WGXA News, guys.
Thank you so much, Carlos. And a Monroe County traffic stop leaves one man behind bars for serious drug charges. Deputies say they pulled over Alfred Chambliss on I-75 last night and noticed the smell of marijuana. When they searched his vehicle, they say they found 2 pounds of weed, 11 ounces of cocaine, along with crack, ecstasy, and a gun. Well, most of Middle Georgia has been dry today with afternoon temperatures in the low to mid 90s, which I love.
Yes, I know you do, and I do too. But Chief Meteorologist Ryan Stinnett says higher rain chances return to Middle Georgia in the coming days.
We're not happy about that.
No, we're not.
It though. It helps keep the heat away, but unfortunately, most locations are dry today and hot. Still tracking a few thunderstorms, really getting down into Dooley County right now. Right near Unadilla, it's coming down pretty heavily right along Interstate 75. And then as we head back into, say, portions of Taylor County, east of Butler, west of Butler, you got a new shower or thunderstorm developing. But that's essentially it. It is hot everywhere. We're talking mid-90s from Irvington down to Dublin, 95 in Mount Vernon, 97 in McRae. Where it's rained a little bit, we're seeing those temperatures into the 80s. Your evening planner, 90s become 80s. And as we look at what's coming up in Maine weather, our next weather maker, increasing storms tomorrow. Those storms bring frequent lightning and gusty winds, and we're likely to see some dangerous heat levels ahead. I got a lot to talk about. Greg, Amanda.
You certainly do. We want to hear about it, and it's a great time to download the WGXA weather app. Ryan is back in less than 20 minutes, and he'll have your 10-day forecast.
The Make and Bib Commission discussed the latest on the county courthouse renovations at their meeting yesterday. While some commissioners thought a new courthouse was still on the table, Mayor Lester Miller tells the board that building a new courthouse would be too expensive with the increased cost of building materials since the 2018 splost. The county is waiting for the master plan for the courthouse to be finalized, which is expected to include more space for the district attorney's office and a new entrance.
And the denial of a street light on Candlewick Court sparked a spirited debate at the same meeting. Mr. Elaine Lucas says lighting needs should be visibly evaluated at night before an application is denied solely on the distance from existing street lights. She says it's just one way the county can help increase pedestrian safety.
And USPS says they are reviewing operations at its Macon facility.
The company says it's a part of its efforts to modernize and improve service efficiency in the Peach State. It says it will review the opportunities for new products and services.
The review process in Macon is not expected to impact customer service, but the company is looking for community input. You can go to our website, WGXA.tv, and find this story for a link to leave your comments. The company says if the review suggests the need for changes, the public will be invited to a meeting to give more input as well.
USPS's 10-year strategic plan, dubbed Delivering for America, involves a $40 billion investment, which has already seen 2 new facilities brought to Georgia.
New tonight, 100 million people in this country lack access to primary care. And for those that can get to a doctor, it might take a while for them to get seen.
Janae Bowens has an exclusive look at new data detailing patient wait times and a key reason for those delays.
They can't schedule anyone.
Gloria Jones has been waiting to see a primary care doctor since October.
I'm sure there are many people that wouldn't even bother, and they would miss follow-up appointments that might be very important for them.
She's right. A new survey from the American Association of Nurse Practitioners shows 40% of adults have experienced a longer than reasonable wait for health care. Nearly half of those folks gave up on getting an appointment. 26% reported waiting more than 2 months.
Which is a challenge because when we have access to care issues, we know that healthcare costs go up. There's an increased risk of complications. Just like we saw with COVID, people weren't getting the care they needed.
Sophia L. Thomas with the American Association of Nurse Practitioners says a key reason for unreasonable wait times is the barriers for some healthcare professionals to serve patients.
We have 355,000 nurse practitioners out there really ready, willing, and able to provide help and care. But at the same time, we do have some states that don't allow nurse practitioners to practice at the top of their education.
According to nursejournal.org, currently, nurse practitioners can practice independently in 27 states and Washington, D.C. Everywhere else requires that they work with a physician. The American Medical Association says nurse practitioners should not practice alone because they do not have the same training as physicians. But the expert I spoke with says both have the same medical standards. Either way, something has got to be done for people waiting for care. Reporting for the National Desk, I'm Janae Bowens.
And we are looking at Macon right now. We are talking about a beautiful evening across Middle Georgia. Temperature 93 degrees on our Wilson Bryant Heating and Air Skycast network. Enjoy today because I think sooner than later, rain chances will return. Speaking of sooner than later, we'll likely have a tropical system in the Atlantic over the next few days. We're talking the next really 2 to 7 days. We got a 50% chance of development. Good news is it will not impact the U.S. It'll continue to lift off towards the north and east. But if it were to develop, it would be our 4th named system of the year. Dawn, that's the name up next. Now, off towards the west, we always watch what's toward the west of us because that's where most of our weather comes from. And you see, heat warnings, heat advisories are beginning to build across Texas and the southern plains. They're slowly starting to inch eastward, and we'll likely have to deal with some more of these as we head into maybe the weekend. It could hold off till next week, but it's all thanks to that heat dome. Record-setting heat across the desert Southwest, even South Florida has been baking the past few weeks. And again, we're going to continue to watch this area of hot weather slowly expand. But again, we're going to stay on the periphery of this, and that means we'll be watching clusters of thunderstorms that roll through. Each and every day there will be clusters of storms. Will they make it into middle Georgia? We just have to wait and see. That's what we call the ring of fire. Some locations will get the rain and storms. Many locations will not, but if we do see some of these storms, they will pack a punch. We're talking gusty winds and very heavy rainfall. We've increased those rain chances for tomorrow and Friday because we are going to start to see our moisture levels return. And by moisture levels, we mean the humidity. Dew points, 60s and 70s area-wide. Check out that dew point of 75 in Fort Valley, 73 in Americus. And unfortunately, more and more of these will become mid-70s. That's why we're going with the oppressive forecast as far as our muggy meter. That makes it downright uncomfortable outside. And that could play a role into our heat index. Danger ranges 105 or greater for middle Georgia. We may see a heat advisory issued for portions of middle Georgia this weekend, and even next week we'll keep an eye on things. But anytime this time of year, you should use extreme caution. A few showers and storms out there this evening, but it'll be a quiet night. Tomorrow, Futurecast is really underdoing the rain coverage. I've got a rain coverage about 50 to 60% because there's a little boundary that's going to push through. But we'll keep an eye on it. But have the rain gear close to hand tomorrow and really for the foreseeable future because each day we'll have mid-90s, those hot temperatures. Each day we'll have those scattered afternoon showers and storms. As of right now, it looks like our hottest day will be Tuesday. And our Harrison's Body Shop fishing game forecast peaks multiple times in the good category. The highest peak at 11:20 a.m.
And in your community, Carolyn Creighton Park is now officially dedicated.
Mayor Lester Miller and other county leaders, along with the Cherry Blossom Festival organizers, honored the park's namesake with a ceremony this morning. Carolyn Creighton has a long history in Macon, namely as the founder of the city's famed Cherry Blossom Festival. Mayor Miller says she continues to go above and beyond to showcase the beauty of Macon Viv.
I'm humbled. Oh, I'm just so, I just cannot tell you. This is the most unbelievable thing that's happening to me today. I love Macon. I love all of you. And all of you have made the festival what it is today.
We love you too, Ms. Creighton. The commission passed a resolution to rename Central City Park as Carolyn Creighton Park in June of 2020. In 2022, the gatehouses and ticket booths were removed to make way for a newly renovated entrance, including a sign with the park's new name.
Macon's Tubman African American Museum unveiled a new exhibit showcasing rare records that trace the city's history of slavery. The Enslaved Peoples Project showcases court documents from 1923 to 1965 that record how enslaved people were bought, sold, and traded.
The museum says it's rare for a community to have kept those records, and it's an important part of Macon history to highlight, particularly during the city's bicentennial celebration.
Really important and perhaps forgotten and perhaps intentionally forgotten part of Macon's history. And we want that to not be the case. We want, if you're going to tell the story of Macon, Georgia, you have to tell the story of all of Macon, Georgia, not just the wonderful, nice things, but some of the things that maybe aren't so wonderful and aren't so nice, but are really fundamental to the evolution of this community.
The project started as a collaboration between Superior Court Clerk Erica Woodford and Mercer University.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Gary Thigpen, and I'm here again today at the Bibb County Animal Services in Macon, Bibb, and I'm joined again with Tracy. And guess who we have for you today?
Today we have Chico.
Chico.
Say hi.
Male, female, male?
Male.
He is so sweet. Also loves loving.
He loves
to give kisses.
He is about 11 months old. He is heartworm positive, but that can be treated, especially at a young age. It's really not a concern. And they make medicine for that, don't they?
Oh, they do. So you said he's about 11 months old. What breed is Chico?
You know, it's hard to say because he is almost fully grown, and he's only about 35.
About 35, 40 pounds. Yeah.
So he's not going to get much bigger than what he already is.
And you see, he is energetic, but also very calm and very nice, very sweet dog. So listen, if you want to adopt Chico or any other dogs they have here, Tracy, how do they go about doing that?
You just reach out to us at 478-621-6774 and ask to speak to Elvin. He's our adoption coordinator. He'll get you in for a meet and greet, and we'll make sure that Chico's a good fit for your family, and then it's just a little bit of paperwork, and you're good to go.
Now, we also have a big event. Coming up this weekend at Tractor Supply. Tracy, tell us about that.
So it's going to be at Tractor Supply on Eisenhower, and it's going to be from 11 to 3, and we'll have a bunch of babies out there.
Chico might be there.
Yeah, Chico might be there, and we'll just have a bunch of babies for adoption, and we hope that everybody comes out to see them.
All right, let's go ahead and do that today. Take care of that. And if you can't do it online or call and come down, let's attend the event Saturday at Tractor Supply Company. Thank you so much, Tracy.
Thank you.
Well, grab a spoon and dig into your favorite gelatinous snack. Wednesday is National Eat Your Jell-O Day. This dessert goes way back, and it was trademarked in 1897. And Francis Woodard, who bought the recipe and trademarked it a few years later, really popularized the treat. Today, Jell-O has nearly 24 flavors that can be used to make dozens of versatile combinations. Try it as a salad, mix it up with fruit, or add some alcohol for some fun summer shots. I knew you were going to laugh at that. Look at you, the bad influence. However you like it, make sure to eat your Jell-O today.
There's always room for Jell-O.
Well, when I was a kid, my mom used to make it for my siblings and I as a treat. Or not as a treat, but like as a snack.
Yeah, I like it a lot. But
it's mostly water anyway.
I have a feeling that you, Stinnett, only eat it with alcohol.
No.
So you put the alcohol in instead of the water to mix yours together? Is that
Yeah.
what we're hearing?
He makes like a vodka Jell-O. No,
A vodka Jell-O?
No, he's more of like a bourbon guy. He
You
probably
would
mixes
never
it with
put bourbon in that. It's vodka or Everclear.
I never Everclear.
Yeah.
Everclear.
For me, it's
that
water.
left me speechless.
It's grain alcohol.
That's going to do it for
Oh my
WGXA News at 5:30.
We invite you to join us at 6 on ABC 16. Don't take Ryan Stinnett's advice, ever.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. That's some great advice.
Bad recipe.
Everclear.